Hi guys, and welcome to my What's for Dinner. First up, I'm going to use some leftover ground beef to make an all-meat pizza. My daughter has a dairy allergy, so for her pizzas, I like to use the diet mozzarella style cutting board shreds, the Applegate pork and beef pepperoni, a Trader Joe tomato basil marinara, and I put it all on a vegan English muffin. We've been buying our bacon in bulk, so as I put the rest of this bacon into the freezer, I will use some of it to make Brussels sprouts. Here is a pot of potatoes for a giant pot of mashed potatoes, and then I have a tri-tip cooking in the oven with some zucchini. I will go ahead and link my tri-tip recipe in the description box below. Now I'm going to make a Thanksgiving turkey meal in the crock pot. Just have some herbs and some vegetables and parsley and stuff, and you throw it into the bottom of the crock pot. This is a turkey breast, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put the turkey on top of the vegetables. It's still a little frozen, but that's okay. I'm just gonna make sure that when it cooks, it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. After covering the turkey with the spices and herbs, I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of liquid. I'm choosing to use stock here. And then I'm just going to pour it in with the turkey. And then I cook the turkey on low for 4 to 6 hours. It's actually pretty quick considering, cooking a whole turkey. And then I make a majority of the side dishes in the microwave, and if you really do like that crispy skin, you can fry it in a pan, but I just made the rest of these sides in the microwave except for the stuffing because it's easier just to make that on the stovetop, even though you can make it in the microwave. If you're interested in watching me make a whole turkey dinner including microwave sides, let me know in the comment box below. Now, a great snack idea is to take some of these wheat pasta wagon wheels, also known as duros, and I am going to fry them for a little while in my air fryer. After letting my air fryer preheat to 450 degrees, I'll just let these fry for a little while and make sure that I pull them out every couple of minutes to give them a shake to make sure that they are puffing up evenly. Here I can show you the difference between a wagon wheel that is not fully puffed. You can see the little spokes there, with a wagon wheel that is completely puffed. The whole thing is thick and fluffy. You need to keep a close eye on these because these will burn very fast because they cook very fast. You can also put these in a microwave safe bowl and cook them in the microwave, but they don't really turn out as well. It's more for like a last resort. And then I just store them in an airtight bag. If you want, you could put a little tapioca to eat them. It's up to you. Here I'm gonna make some marinated onions. I just slice up some onions, cover them with lemon juice and some oregano, and let them sort of pickle. It's kind of like a pickled onion. Then I'll just use some canned beans, and I like to add a little bit of water or jalapeno juice to my beans to loosen them up, make them a little more spreadable. Then I will take a bolillo roll that I have cut a slit all the way down into, and I will start with the top side and put it on a flat top or a comal, some kind of a hot flat heat surface. When the top of it becomes crisped up and toasted a little bit, I will flip it over, and then you need another pot holder or something to kind of squish the bread down flat. The whole goal is to have the inside of the bread heated with the outside toasted. So as you see here, when I open it, the inside of the bread is steaming hot. Then I will just add some mayonnaise and some beans to the inside of this. Next, you add your meat. I bought some carnitas for this, so I'm just gonna put a bed of carnitas, but you can do any kind of meat you like, taco meat, anything, chicken really, and it's really good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top it with some of the shredded cheese, some of the pickled onions, a little bit of shredded cabbage, and then you just give it a good slice down the middle. And this is how you make a torta. Next, I'll be heating up some of these huge flour tortillas. I want to make a chimichanga with my air fryer. So I heat both sides of my tortilla. Then I'm gonna add some beans, some meat. This is just some chorizo that I have browned up for breakfast tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and have a chorizo burrito. And after the meat, I'm going to add just some quick microwaved rice. I could have made rice, but I really wasn't in the mood. So when I'm not in the mood to make a whole bunch of rice, I'll just make a little microwave bag and add in just what I need. Now I'm just gonna roll it up and put it inside my air fryer. This gets a little wonky because it is kind of awkward, but it works out. And my air fryer is just on 400 degrees and it's been preheated. And I will fry it until the edges are toasted and crispy and it is a little golden brown like a regular chimichanga. I recommend putting the seam down. It helps seal it and toast it shut. And after a few minutes, it'll look all golden and toasty brown, just like this. Remember, you're not really cooking the chimichanga, it's already cooked. And here I go destroying it because it was a lot hotter than I realized it would be. So I just poured it out onto my plate, and I'll just cover up all of my mess with the toppings, which is what I usually do when I add some cheese and sour cream and some shredded cabbage to the top. And here is our chimichanga. Oh, don't forget the onions. We usually add cilantro too, but we didn't have any cilantro today. Another day here, we had some enchiladas. I will go ahead and link my recipe for enchiladas that I've already made in the description box below if you are interested. For the next dinner idea, I'm just making barbecue chicken thighs. I'll go ahead and link that video below as well, where I show you how to debone chicken thighs, and then just some rice and a salad with this one. Here, I'm going to be making a Crockpot pot roast. I have potatoes and onions, carrots, celery, mushrooms, everything that you normally put in kind of a hearty stew-like meal. Then all you have to do is brown the pot roast on both sides and put it on top of all your cut up vegetables. Then I'm just gonna add some beef stock and seasonings to the meat to give it a little bit of roasting liquid. Just pour it over the top. And now you're supposed to pour some quick cooking tapioca over the top of it. I don't have any quick cooking tapioca, so I'm going to put in my egg replacer. It has a lot of the same ingredients and it is designed for thickening things up. And I'm just going to stir this in. Now it didn't thicken up quite the way I would like it, so I do recommend using the quick cooking tapioca or even just pouring some gravy into it if you'd like. But I myself cannot add any dairy to this because I want my kids to be able to eat this. So if you would like to put some gravy into this, I would highly recommend that. It would be delicious. If dietary restrictions don't allow that, there are plenty of other options. For this dinner tonight, I added some potatoes to the bottom of the crock pot. I'm using 2 separate crock pots because one of these is a dairy recipe. So I will use the coconut, the chicken broth, the cream of mushroom soup, and the stuffing. I got this chicken on sale, so this is a very budget-friendly meal. I'm just gonna put the chicken breasts in the bottom on top of the potatoes. Next, I'm gonna add some chicken broth to both of the crock pots. Here's where the dairy-free variation begins. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this coconut into the smaller crock pot in place of the canned cream of mushroom soup. Then I'm going to cover it with the stuffing, and I'm going to call that good. If you would like to add green beans or mushrooms to the top of this, you can. But since I'm making this for my daughter and I know she doesn't like any of those things, I'm not going to put them in. Here with the regular version, you can see that I'm going to add the rest of the chicken stock. Then I will be adding the cream of mushroom soup. I would have used 2 of these, but since I only had 1, I also added some sour cream to this recipe. Now keep in mind, if you do substitute and use something like sour cream, it is going to leave little, almost like cottage cheese chunks in your casserole. So keep that in mind. It would be better to probably mix the sour cream up with other things and then cook it, but I was in a hurry and just wanted to dump and go, and the result was a slightly chunky sauce, but I don't actually mind. Now you want to cook this on low for between 4 and 6 hours, but if you are also preparing 2 separate crock pots like me, and one happens to be a miniature crock pot or like a little single serve crock pot like the one I have, you want to keep in mind that it is not going to take the full cooking time for it to cook. So if you are cooking it in a smaller crock pot, keep an eye out so that it doesn't burn. After adding the stuffing, you want to go ahead and add green beans. I chose to use whole green beans. I like the larger size to it. When everything breaks down in the crock pot, the green beans stay pretty whole, but it's really up to you. You can use whatever you want. You can use frozen green beans. This is just what I've had on hand. That's going to finish up this What's for Dinner video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment box below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy videos like this, so I'll be sure to make more. Thank you and have a wonderful day, everyone.